You know these little icons, right? They've totally changed how we talk to each other. They're all over our phones, they're in our emails, and as we're about to find out, they are way more powerful than you might think. So today, let's dive into the unstoppable rise of emojis.
I mean, just think about it for a second. When you're texting a friend some good news, what's that little something you add at the end? Or how do you make absolutely sure a joke lands the right way? Yeah, for billions of us, the answer is one of these little guys. But how in the world did they get so essential?
So where did these things even come from? Well, they started out in Japan back in the late 1990s, and since then, these colorful icons have become a staple of our daily lives. And get this, sociologists are predicting that they're just going to keep evolving, becoming an even bigger part of how we express ourselves online. They are quite literally a new global language.
So why? Why did we even need this whole new language in the first place? Well, it all comes down to a really fundamental problem with how we talk to each other online, the problem of toneless text.
And this, right here, is the key. So much of how we communicate isn't even in our words. It's in our tone of voice, our facial expressions, but plain old text, it just strips all of that away, and our words are left wide open to being misinterpreted. Emojis were basically invented to solve that exact problem.
And wow, does this show you the difference? Just look at the message on the left. Let's talk. Is that like a demand? Am I in trouble? It's so ambiguous and honestly a little intimidating. Now look to the right. Just by adding that one simple smiling face, the entire meaning changes. Now it's friendly, it's open, it feels collaborative. The intent is suddenly crystal clear.
Okay, so emojis are exploding in popularity, right? But that creates a whole new problem. If anyone could just make their own, they wouldn't work across different phones or computers. It would be total chaos. So who stepped in to tame it? Well, let's meet the emoji gatekeepers. Okay, so this is a group you've probably never heard of, but they have a huge impact on your day-to-day life. The Unicode Consortium. They're a nonprofit that standardizes all text on the internet. And, yep, that includes emojis. They're basically the unseen architects of our digital chats. The reason a thumbs up you sent from an iPhone actually shows up as a thumbs up on an Android. The consortium gets to decide which new emojis see the light of day and which ones don't. And they don't take that responsibility lightly at all. Their decision-making process is super careful, it's structured, and it's surprisingly tough. So how does an idea actually become an official emoji on your phone? All right, let's pull back the curtain and take a look at the life cycle of an emoji, from just a simple proposal to that brand new icon that pops up on your keyboard. So it really just boils down to these three main steps. First up, literally anyone, you, me, can submit a proposal for a new emoji. Then the consortium puts it through this intense review, asking questions like, is this thing distinctive? Are people actually going to use it a lot? And finally, if it gets the green light, it's passed on to the big tech companies like Apple and Google to design and roll it out. And believe me, a lot of them get rejected. This isn't just some free-for-all where every idea gets through. The whole approval process is there to make sure the emoji set stays a useful, standard tool for all of us, not just a random collection of pictures. It really has to earn its spot. Now, you probably think of emojis as something for, casual chats with your friends, but that is changing, and it's changing fast. Emojis are moving into a whole new frontier. Okay, and this is where things get really interesting. We're seeing a huge shift in how we communicate at work. I mean, a simple thumbs up can actually act as a binding confirmation that you got a task. A smiling face can be used to soften tough feedback in a performance review. Some experts are even saying they're becoming critical in legal documents now that remote work is so common. All right, so what's next on the horizon? Well, just like any living language, the world of emojis isn't just sitting still. It's constantly growing and changing to better reflect all the people who use it. The push for diversity is huge, and it's set to grow big time. In the next few years, you can expect to see way more symbols that represent different cultures from all over the world, various disabilities, and a much wider range of family structures. It's a really big deal for making sure everyone feels seen and represented. So the big takeaway here is that this isn't just about adding more cute pictures to your keyboard. It's all about making sure this visual language actually reflects the billions of people using it every single day. That's what makes it a more inclusive and, frankly, a more effective tool for connecting with each other. And hey, this isn't some far-off, distant future we're talking about. The latest timeline shows the committee is meeting next month to finalize the new candidates, then the next major emoji set launches in September, and not long after that, bam, it'll land right on your keyboard.
And through all this change, all this growth, it all comes back to this one really powerful idea. There is one single, universal, standardized system. We have this shared visual language that connects every single one of us, in a small but pretty profound way, no matter where we are or what language we happen to speak.
So, as these little digital icons become even more tangled up in how we connect with each other, it leaves us with something to think about. What do we really gain as our language gets more and more visual? And in our race for faster, clearer communication, is there anything we might be losing along the way?